Welcome. I'm Albert, your Reiki master, and this is Reiki with Albert. We're going to talk about, in this session, we're going to talk about can accept emotional expressions, which is also a denial. Yeah, you have no no negativity. You express no feelings for the other person. You're in denial. You're not living up to your true potential. You you don't want to take the blame. You pass it on to someone else. Yeah. So you did something wrong. So instead of standing up for it, you pass it to that person, that person, that person, and it harms relationships too. Because you don't take charge of what you did. You did something wrong. You won't admit it, and you pass the blame to this person, this person. So take out the blame. Stop blaming others. Take out the blame. Stop blaming somebody else. Stand up for what you did wrong. Take the blame. Okay? But you don't take it. You give it to somebody else. So take out the denial of the blame. So what that means is that you're denying the blame, and you're passing it to somebody else. Or take out the denial of the blame. Okay? All right. Make it a little easier to think. You don't accept others because when you pass on the problems or things you did wrong and you don't take accounted for that wrong, this is where all this negativity kicked in. And you show no negativity too because you don't want the fear of humiliation. There's a lot of parts to this one thing. You could cover a lot. A lot of people don't like to take a humiliation. They don't want people to pity them. Take out self-pity. But self-pity also means you take out the blame. You don't want, so take out self-pity. Let's call this take out self-pity. You want them to pity you because you don't want to take the blame for what you did wrong. And this could be anything. And don't pass the blame to somebody else and stand up for what you did. A lot of people can't take the blame, so they pass it off. That's why a lot of relationships don't last long, because there's always constantly fighting and turmoil because nobody wants to accept responsibility. You don't want to accept the responsibility. See? So hey, I didn't do that. You did that. Or they did that. Or she, or him, or her, and everybody else did it. But you're doing your pity dance. So everybody has to feel sorry for you because you're being blamed. You don't want to be blamed, so they all just you just don't. It gets complicated. So let's just focus on take out the blame and stand up for what you did wrong, because you're not standing up to your actions. You're letting it get out of control. You can't accept or don't express negativity or empathy for the other person. See, what you're doing is you're putting all your burdens on that person. So every time something goes wrong, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. No, it's not my fault. It's your fault. You're to blame. See? Take out you're to blame. That's it. Take out you're to blame. That's it. So that's what we call this. Take out you're to blame. And you need to stand up for the blame because it's you who started all of this. You caused problems. and you don't want to take accountability. You broke a glass. You'll say, hey, you broke that glass. You don't want to be humiliated in front of others or with your partner or your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever it is. You don't want to take the blame, and you pass on the blame to them. Stop passing on the blame. Take out passing on the blame. That's it. Take out passing on the blame. Stand up for what your actions. You did negative actions. Stand up for it. But you feel like, I didn't do nothing wrong. Self-denial again. You don't want to take charge of your actions, and you let it go. You let it go, and you figure it. Oh, they did it. I don't have to worry about nothing. I ain't doing nothing. Self-denial. It's like you pushing things away. You're deflecting, putting deflectors on. Just pushing and bouncing off of you and going to somebody else. You walk down the aisle. You brush against something. Something hits the floor. Oh, I didn't do it. The broken glass is on the floor. You don't even let nobody know about the broken glass. Then somebody else slips into that and hurts themselves. Because you didn't want to take the blame. You should have told somebody you did that. But you didn't want to. You can't sneak around and hide. You gotta take responsibility. You don't want to take responsibility. You just want to pass it to somebody else. And that's negative. You shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Why are you doing that? Because you think you can get away with it. But you can't. It's going to come back to haunt you. And you don't care. You have no confidence in yourself. You have nothing. But you just let this go on and on and on, and let somebody else get in trouble, especially at your job. They'll say, who did this? And you say, I didn't do it. I'm not taking the blame for this. Somebody else did it. Where you're the one who did it. So the whole team has to suffer. Then the manager has to give out punishment. Treat you as children and not as an adult. And humiliate you in front of others. Make you feel small. And go from being valued to this. Nothing. You want to be nothing? Another word is loser. Nobody wants to hear that word. That's a negative word. Somebody to call you a loser, they have no high esteem for you. They don't value you, value your time in your life. See how the blame trip goes a long way? It does a lot. It's so many different topics. Negativity. You don't care. Pass on the buck, as they say. Don't take accountability. That's it. You don't take accountability. You don't take accountability. There's another word you can say. But your actions speaks for themselves. When you do all this, no one's going to trust you. No one's going to believe him. I'll believe in the word you say. It's like, there's a phrase we say here. Can't think of it in my head. When a person tells lies and doesn't tell so many lies, so when the lie becomes the truth, nobody wants to believe that person. That's what it leads to. And it's dangerous. Candle is still, it's going out now. It's still there. See the light? In the other videos, it's still like this has melted down to this. It's still lighting. So stop blaming others. Okay? Because that's negative. You don't blame nobody else. Take responsibility for your actions. Whatever you did, take responsibility for it. You'll be a better man, better woman, better significant other, there's a better partner, whatever it is, you'll be better at it. And people will respect you. Now people don't respect you, then you get shunned, blackballed, all sorts of things happen. Chain of Vex fall down and smack you in the face because you let it get to this point. It's nobody's gonna want to believe you. Then you get fired. Then you have to find another job. Or you have no friends, and the whole thing gets too out because you can't be honest. People who can't be honest with you and don't want to take the responsibility, and they'll say, "Hey, yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll do that," and never do it. Why should they do it? You accept it for so many times. You gotta stick to your plan. You gotta stick to your action. If you did something wrong, you need to come forward. Don't let it get to this point. And when it gets to a severe negative point, you might as well just close your eyes and look and go someplace else, because that whole circumstance messes up. And that's why relationships are messed up this way too. And you need to get healed because you need to understand what you did is wrong. Don't pass the buck to somebody else. That's what I mean. Don't pass the blame. Don't pass the blame to someone else. Take responsibility of what you did. Stand up for what you did. You know you did wrong, and speak up. Don't be scared. Don't be in fear. You have to take responsibility of your actions. It's not somebody else's problem. See? It's somebody else's problem. It's nobody else's problem. It's your problem. You need to take responsibility of that problem. Negative does not equal positive. Positive is the best. But you can never be negative. Everything to you is good. But there's negative sometimes, and you have to take responsibility. The negative is when you don't want to take responsibility of what you did wrong. You broke something, you took something, and you just don't want to tell the truth. And you make it sound like, oh no, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. Pitying yourself. So others, oh my, that's really sad. Oh, that happened to you? That's what you want. You want other people to feel sympathetic for you, for your woes. You want them to be pitying you, and you just live like that. That's wrong, and a lot of people do that. That's why you say, "Hey, what's wrong with that girl? What's wrong with that guy?" Those people, then that's not a person you want to be with, who can't take responsibility for their actions. They don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And it leads to all sorts of things. It's a chain reaction. That's why this subject is, you can't even just say one thing. What is it? Self-pity? Negativity? Passing the buck? Passing the blame? Don't want to take responsibility for your actions? That's what it leads to. It continues down the road. Okay. Now, when we have negativity like this, we have to do the charms like this.